And a hearty good hello to everybody. We got, let's see, we got to get Hastings looking a little clearer. Did I lose you there, Scotty? What do we got there going on there? Can you hear me? We're
I
starting
see
already
and hear
with a
you
little bit.
fine.
I got you all fuzzy. Anyway. All right, everybody, welcome to the hot mic, and hopefully that gets cleared up a little bit there. Do you have them Comcast? I guess we all got Comcast internet, don't we?
I
It
don't even
is
know it's not
Scott
your internet.
Hastings.
It's messing up. I see everything fine.
Well, then maybe it is. I don't know. We'll
Always,
see.
always pointing the finger somewhere else. You know, when you point the finger at somebody, there's three more pointing right back at you.
I'm blaming your internet.
Of course.
What do you think of that? What do you think of that there, Hastings? All right, let's get going. A lot I want to kind of talk about today. First off, are you um are you watching any of the baseball playoffs? If I knew a guy that once loved baseball, it's you.
Yep.
And you used to tell me about loving to watch that, loving to watch the Royals, da 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 da. Are you bummed out that you don't live in a town where you care about the baseball anymore?
Oh, yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's fun. Oh, excuse me. I got a good buddy that I went to high school with, part of my boys' trip, who sent a picture of us. He's there in L.A. tonight. He lives north of L.A. about an hour or so, hour and a half, and so he got tickets. He's a big Dodgers fan now, and he's at the game. He's at 70 degrees. It's sunny when it started, and just beautiful. And so I was watching a little bit of the Dodgers Cincinnati for a little bit. Just kind of with an eye on it. Watched a little bit of the Cleveland Detroit game today, and then didn't see the end. It's like I'm seeing the first parts of every game, and then I don't see the finish. Red Sox, Yankees, were they on again today, or were they just showing replays?
They were on again today. I believe everybody's just the new wild card round. I believe everybody's just a 3-game series. And so I think they all played. I didn't know this because again, it's been so long since the Rockies have been relevant. And I'm not going to belabor the point on that. We can talk a little bit about it, but it's been so long since they've been relevant. I barely pay attention. Baseball's the thing I don't pay attention to anymore. And so it's a
No,
3-game series in one ballpark, and that's it. So I think everybody just plays in a row. So
yeah, I'll watch a little bit of this stuff. It's kind of fun. I mean, it's kind of fun. It's one thing. I watched a little bit yesterday and a little bit today. And you mentioned the Rockies. The one thing that comes to mind, they ain't in any of the teams I've seen play. And as I said, I've seen parts of Cleveland, Detroit, Dodgers, Cincy, Yankees, Red Sox. I think that's all I've seen play. Um, they ain't in any of that category. So lo and behold, another October, and here we are. With maybe the most irrelevant baseball team in Major League Baseball.
yeah, sadly, I mean, they do what they did today, and there's no way when you're the team that just you set another record in franchise history for losses. Yet again, you were just one win better than last year's White Sox, which was the worst of all time. You've tied records.
But you broke the point differential by like 300.
Yeah, it's brutal. By
Yeah.
run differential, you're the worst all time.
And
So
I was thinking today, and Bill Schmidt stepped down, and they said they're going to start looking outside, the organization to replace that position. Good on them if they come through and do that. That being said, the run, forget the 43 wins, and you didn't set the record. Hey, hey, hey! But you're over 300 more loss or runs scored, breaking a record, right? Which is just unbelievable. I think you're a minus 436 or four something. Um, and you and I talked about this during that lull of the Broncos. If you're going to get beat 31-28. At least give me some entertainment.
Lake Street
Uh,
Bomber, this thing.
yeah, Blake Street bombed this team, and at least for home games, get rid of the humidifier. Who cares if you win 12-8 games in Coors Field and everybody makes fun of you? So what? At least you win games, and you're entertaining. But the problem is, here's the problem with baseball in Colorado. Colorado is one of the greatest states in the union as far as summertime, and there's nothing better. You went and spent a whole lot of money and got your deck replaced and fixed all up outside. So what? So you can sit outside in the evenings, enjoy the summertime, right? That's Colorado. They were still in the top half in attendance with the worst team made in history, and you're still in the top half in attendance. Come on now, you know. Um, and I'd like to say it's because you have great baseball fans. That's not what it is. It's Coors Field is fun to sit out there in a late July evening, having a cold beer in the stands, outdoors, smell of the game, and in great weather, 99% of the time, it seems like. So it's too bad. I can understand being bad. I still look at Houston. I think they had 2 or 3 straight 100 lost seasons, and then all of a sudden, but they had a plan. They were building something. The next thing you know, they're winning. I think they've won 2 World Series since that time, at least played in 2. And whether they cheated on one, I don't care. They got rings, don't they? The rings don't say, hey, we may have cheated a little bit on the sides, does it? Doesn't say anything about that. It just says world champs on it. So I don't know, man. This is a big off season for them. It's a big next month to get this thing done and figure it out and get the right people in place. And to be honest with you, I think they need to change from top to bottom. I mean, from Bill Schmidt's position all the way to who's your roving instructors, who's your AAA manager, your AA manager. What's your vision of this team? So we'll see. Hey,
Yeah,
they're
soup
liable
to
to win.
nuts.
Hey, can you tell me right now they're going to be 19? Well, make it back. They're going to be 20 wins better next year and not lose 100.
No, because baseball's not. I mean, in theory, they could try. Okay, they could go out They could go get Pete Alonso, for example, who opted out of his contract with the Mets, and go get a big basher there. And they could go sign every free agent they can find this side of the Mississippi. And they could try to put a more professional club out in the field. And you know what? That'd probably improve. But you and I both know, they're not going to do that. And it's not a long-term fix. In baseball, you have to, you know what? Nate's right about this. And everybody gets pissed off about the Dodgers and their big budget. And I get it. It is frustrating. I get all that. But you know what, Nate Kreckman always points out? They drafted really, really good. And not only were half their World Series teams were talent they drafted, but when they want to go make a trade, when they want to go get Mookie Betts, when they want to go add to that lineup, they can go, and they've got the prospects that the good teams are actually interested in trading you good players for. Right. And the one guy you had to try to bring, you had 3 or 4 guys. You had John Gray, you had Trevor Story, you had Nolan Arenado. You didn't get anybody of any top tier for those guys. The last time this team made a savvy move, people may not want to hear it. It was Dan O'Dowd when he traded Matt Holliday and got Carlos Gonzalez and Houston Street. That was the last time they made that kind of move. And you got impact players that became all-stars. I guess you could say Herman Marquez, but we all know pitchers. Someone said on the text line today perfectly, or maybe it was on Twitch. Maybe it was on one of our guys, Pawnee Dan's on Twitch. Somebody said it where they said, pitchers in Coors Field have the shelf life of a cell phone battery. So even though you got Marquez, that was great. We all said, Nate and I had said, I'm not going to, you know what, the hell with it. I'll pat my own back. Nate and I were talking about it. You should have traded Marquez in 2019 because we already were seeing which way this thing was going. And he'd already given you 3 sweet seasons. There are a ton of teams that were giving you some great prospects for it. But that's how you got to start thinking. That's how you got to start doing this. You got to keep your damn system stacked. And we talked about it with everybody today. It was ad nauseum, but you've got to invest in technology. You've got to have a better plan to develop players like you talked about. You got to get whoever comes in there, take a year and get the whole damn minor league system revamped, because the whole thing needs you and I know how many former Rockies that have told us it's screwed up. They don't even teach the same things from one level to the next. It's like one's not even talking to the other half the time. One guy gets out of AAA, goes to AA, or single A to AA to AAA. I got different ideas. You can't have that. There needs to be a singular philosophy. There needs to be an identity. I don't know what it is.
Listen, there's high school football teams that have their junior teams that have kids going all the way down to, when do you start football? Sixth, seventh grade, that are
Right?
running stuff the varsity is running seventh and eighth grade. So by the time they become ninth graders, and somebody says, "Hey, we're going to run 34x wide reverse," them kids already been running it. There's no, they've already got the terminology coming in. That's not everybody. They still get some new different people, but even they have a plan and an organization what they're doing with their young kids before they just get to high school. And you're going to tell me you have a major league club that doesn't have a philosophy that flows all the way down the chart.
Yeah, well, and we've seen it. And there's not been enough direction. Nobody really wants to come here anymore. They get like, Kyle Farmer's one of them. He was the guy that decided he'd come get one more year in, one more year of money, all that kind of stuff, and came here and played and did his thing. And but that's all you get. You're lucky if you do get a free agent. We all know half the time they wait and try to find a guy that wants one more crack at another, year of pay or whatever, and they sign him right before we get to spring training, and that's about it. Look, man, I said this on the air. I'm going to say it again here. I'm going to give Walker Montford his shot to show me you're different than your dad. He deserves to at least prove to us, the chance to prove to us that his dad still isn't going to be, the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain and trying to still control everything. So I'm going to give him a shot. But if you don't have an outs, like you said, if I don't care how good they think Warren Schaefer may be, if I'm a Rockies fan, and we all kind of are, I don't want anything that's been attached to the last 3 years left here. Nothing.
Well, it's like a person that puts on a pair of socks and has a stinky ass pair of shoes, and they wear them all day. They get up and done in the morning. They get up in the morning, so these socks are bad. I'm gonna change my socks, and then they slip the new socks into the old shoes.
Yep, it's a great analogy. It's a great analogy. All right, let's talk some Broncos. What are you doing?
I had inspiration on the analogy right there.
Well, okay.
From the Ward.
All right. You're killing me, Whitey. You're killing me. Why do you always do something on this podcast to make sure you stay sleeping on the couch you sit on right now? That's my question.
That's because started. I'm kind of getting into the new the little Halo series.
Yeah, you were telling me. Well, so that's it. You're just trying to buy your way into watching Halo without anybody questioning it. So,
yeah.
All right, man. Tell me how this statement grabs you, because I'm going to keep saying it. Broncos' chance to prove to me that this ain't last year starts in Philadelphia. And I don't necessarily need a win, because they are the Super Bowl champs, and I don't think you're quite Super Bowl competing ready yet. But you got your ass kicked by everybody that was Super Bowl tier a year ago. So if you're going to prove to me that you are ready to compete with the big boys, you won't get your ass kicked this weekend in Philly. Is that fair? I don't need a win, but this better be a game. You better not have Tony Romo and your guy who's his buddy Jim Nance. They better not be bored halfway through this game.
Yeah, you want this a fourth quarter game for sure. Listen, I think Philadelphia is a very, very good, solid team. I'm not, as of through 4 weeks, they're not great at one thing. They're middle of the pack rushing, low second tier passing. Their defense is right in the middle. They don't really haven't put a lot of pressure on. Hurts has been sacked 7 or 9 times, something like that. I think 9 times through 4 games. This is a very, very good team. and I'm not sure they can go in and win it. But and you brought this to my attention earlier this year that Sean Payton, every year he's been here, has beat somebody he ain't supposed to. And if you go back a year ago when the start kind of looked a little bleak, and then you've got a 2-week road trip basically with Tampa Bay and New York, and you come out of there 2-0, 2-0. So I think at the least, you gotta listen. The Jets haven't won a game. Got to beat the Jets in London, but that flying over to London is tricky to me. That's always,
Amen.
that you're putting a new variable into the equation. But listen, Sean, a couple years ago went into Buffalo on the road, beat Buffalo, and everybody thought that thing was done. Gave the team hope. You went in last year, as I said, to Tampa Bay. If you remember, when you went into Tampa Bay, they were rolling. They were absolutely rolling, and you put it to them. So, hey, here's your opportunity. I'll say this. I think, and Barkley hasn't had one of these big blow-up stupid games yet. He scares me a little bit because I still think the inside is a little weak for Denver. But if they can control that running game, I think they can win this game.
Well, I would agree, but
if, as you said, they're better than their last year.
Yeah, and look, it would help if Malcolm Roach would get back. Now, again, now I think about it. See, here's the thing. Malcolm Roach wasn't on the injury report today, but also said he's been activated off the PUP. And even DJ Jones said this yesterday in the locker room. He said, we've missed Malcolm Roach in our rotation to stop the run. So,
well, he's eligible to come off the PUP this week.
He is, but they had a practice report today, and he wasn't on it, but there's been no announcement that they've activated him. So we need to get to the bottom.
Maybe one of those things where you play a little gamesmanship and make sure you don't let them know exactly what you got going up. Maybe. I mean, listen, we didn't think Mims was going to play last Monday. All the
he was back on the injury report today.
Huh?
He was back on that injury report today, so.
Well, but I mean, we did our shows on Monday, and I think a lot of us thought that he may be out.
Yeah, well, yeah, it felt that way, the way they were talking about it. And then all of a sudden, they didn't elevate a receiver, and so Cliz points it out before kickoff that may mean they think he's okay, and it turned out. What's funny about it is that one of his better games of the year.
Yeah, right.
How about that run game? Do you think? I almost know the answer to the question. I'll ask it anyway. When are we going to be able to trust Sean Payton and rely on the run game? How about this? Let me rephrase it. Do you think enough happened late in the game the other night that he will? Because look, in fairness to Sean Payton, I want to be fair. Nobody in that run game usually gave you the kind of feeling that a J.K. Dobbins gave you the other night, that I got this if you keep giving it to me. If you keep giving to me, I will get a lather going. You will see results. The runs will get gradually longer. Do you think what he saw the other night might help him finally call a more balanced game, if you will?
I argued this, and I got pushed back from Tyler and D-Mag. Oh, it was balanced. That's a balanced run game. I go, if you take away the runs by Bo, in fact, the touchdown run, that was a pass play. I mean, Bo still threw it 42 times.
You're right.
In a game you won by 25 points. He passed it 42 times. That's a lot of passing. I will say this, and we haven't even talked about it. You know what I was most impressed about Dobbins? I got a little more, felt a little more of that wide zone capability. It's not like the wide zone you and I grew up with Mike Shanahan. I mean, that was
right.
Oh, when you're cutting people, and here comes Terrell off the backside. But I thought he was patient, man. He waited. A couple of his nice 7, 8, 9-yard runs were kind of waiting for that mass to go by, and he cut back to backside a little bit. He had 106 or 103 yards. He only carried it 15 times. And
tells you how productive that was.
Yeah, and Your other back had 53 yards rushing or 58. He carried it 13.
Yep.
So really, to me, your rushing game, you only had 28. That
Well,
that well, you had and then you had an end around. That was a run right for Mims. That was a reverse. So there's 29, I guess. That was your running game.
yeah, I just hope and look, it's tough. The Bengals are terrible.
Oh,
That's
terrible.
let's not mince words. They suck.
They're
So
bad.
it just is amazing how good of a quarterback Joe Burrow is when you watch that trash team without him, frankly.
Yep.
And it's a
That
sin.
right there, I'm not so sure isn't worse than New Orleans.
I would agree with you. I would agree with you. If they didn't have a 2-win head start on New Orleans, they might challenge for something. I don't know, but we'll see. All right, so the big test coming this week. I think it's going to be I'm excited to watch it though. Honestly, I'm excited to watch it to see how this all goes down because if they'll just and I'll say this. I feel like they got a little bit back to a little more what last year was. Run the offense quick, get to the line quicker. And, Nate and I talked a little bit about this. I still think Bo Nix, I know everybody wants Bo Nix to be Patrick Mahomes, and we'd all take that. I still think Bo Nix is I know you guys talked about the Baker comparison today on PhD. I still think he's more of a Jake Plummer. He's a scrappier guy. It's not always going to be the prettiest thing you ever watch, but the guy just wants to win. His teammates, for the most smart part, seem to like him. They respond to him.
Yep.
And I just think he just finds a way to get it done. And it may not look like the way Mahomes does it, but he finds a way to just get it done. Okay. And if we can keep doing that, I don't care. But I think it's on Sean to stop trying to get him to throw every pass in the building. Let him do what he's comfortable with. He did it the other night, and we all had a good time for the most part watching it.
Yeah, no, I tell you what, his throws in the middle of the field, I'm impressed with. His throws outside the hash marks towards the boundary, still a little sketchy to me. He's great underneath. He's great swinging it. I mean, I don't
He's
know.
great if it's fairly straight line.
Yeah, the bubble screens. After a while, you had a couple actually work this weekend. The naked boots hasn't worked since the first time they ran it this season. They've been
Yeah,
pretty
there's
much.
something in the formation that must be giving those away, or else they're just
Yeah,
dedicated to spying him. I don't know.
that didn't run it at all, including really. I mean, it was kind of that way on the interception he threw, which is a bad interception. If you don't throw a pick, even if you try to run it in there and you get knocked out on the one, now it's their ball on the 1 yard line instead of starting over at the 20. So I don't know. Listen. It was a good win. They played well and they played mistake free. I don't think you can give them picks. Here's a great stat, and I know Nate had it too. Philadelphia's 11 for 11 in the red zone offensively. So if they move the ball and get inside the red zone, they're scoring touchdowns. 11 for 11. Their field goal kicker is perfect. You know how many field goals he's kicked this year?
I know because I heard you say it. 3 of 3.
3. But they're 11 for 11 in the red zone with touchdowns.
Yeah, because they get the tush push. But they know what they are. Broncos got to know what they are. Broncos started playing like what they were a year ago the other night instead of trying what they want to be. You may get to what you want to be. I ain't saying you're never going to get to what you want to be. But Sean found a formula for this team a year ago that made this offense fun to watch. And now look, it struggled against Buffalo, which is, again, why it's got to be another test. But the defense, none of us predicted great things for this season based on the offense being one of the most powerful scoring ones in the league. We all predicted good things because this defense is supposed to do what they did the other night, and they need to show something close to that against Philly, period.
The good thing about Philly, though, is that they don't have the explosive offense like Buffalo does.
You're right.
I mean, Buffalo can hang 40 on about anybody. In fact, and I know you guys always do a power rankings once a week sometime, or used to anyway. I don't know how they're not the number one ranked team.
I'm with you. They deserve to be. We don't always read them all. We just go around and we sample what the Broncos are. But, yeah, I think there are. Let me ask you this, because I didn't get to hear. I know how Tyler feels about Kansas City. I don't like the Kansas City's coming off the mat. It just again continues to feel very New England Patriot to me. Where are you at on Kansas City?
Well, we said today, you said after Buffalo, who do you think can win a Super Bowl in the AFC? My pick was Kansas City.
Yeah, because you can't count him out with that guy. Period.
No, and I know they lost a close one in Mexico to, or no, Germany. No, where were they? Brazil. They lost a 3-point game to
The Chargers.
Chargers in Brazil, 2017, I think. But I tell you what, they got Worthy back, and that changes their little speed. They now have some speed on the outside. That cat changes their offense. I
Well,
mean,
and Kareem Hunt started running again, man. Now, look, it could be that Baltimore is not going to be what I certainly thought they would be, which is the top Super Bowl contender. I guess that ain't going to be a thing. But look, man, the Chiefs know how to get. I'm telling you, they're like that damn ghost you think you've exorcised, and the demon shows up again. So, happy Halloween season to you.
you
Let's.
haven't driven by the front yard yet, have you?
I haven't. You don't invite me over no more.
Yeah. Well,
This house has upgraded some things too. We got a whole vibe deck going on.
Jack behind you, like you said you were going to last week.
Right, I forgot. I'm sorry. That's because I was too busy putting more lights out on the deck because my son Hayden loves Halloween and loves the decorations, and so he wanted a. We got a whole thing. I got some colored lights to go in on my bistro lights, if anybody knows what those are, and then I got lights that are like the Christmas variety going around the deck's railings. So we got. I may have to have a Halloween party. I may actually have to have something that's like a Halloween get together. Here's the problem with the Halloween party before we get to little abs and nuggets before we say goodnight. The Halloween party was sweet when you had the slutty pumpkin showing up. The Halloween party's a little less fun when it's a little more tame. Huh? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You might have married a hoe if at one time in her life she went as a naughty nurse to a Halloween party.
all right. Do we know anybody that hasn't?
Has it
Do
or
you know
has?
anybody that hasn't? We are you giving me the shadour? Or did you shadour me right there? Where you talked but you didn't?
No, that was completely off the top of my head.
Yeah, listen. I'm not going to tell you my wife didn't wear an I Dream of Genie outfit one time that wasn't pretty eye catching.
See?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So, yeah, look, hey, if the ladies have it in their bag, good for them. I don't know what the guys are supposed to do. What do we, Chippendale dancer? I could give you the Farley version of that if you want, but.
Yeah, I don't know. Guys don't really have a go-to, but yeah, women they can just put something.
You know what I'll tell
Something
you?
that matches fishnet, and you're
The most popular costume I was a part of one time, my buddy Stan, who's always jumping on here, Stan dressed up in a Bill Clinton costume, and we had, of course, Monica attached to him, and we were his Secret Service agents. And matter of fact, it was that party that Jack Gillette. Remember Jack? Who was the engineer that always threw the Halloween party? Remember him at KOA back in the day?
Yeah.
Well, we went to that party.
Yeah.
Went to that party and
he was a funny dude.
Jack Lambiot.
Yeah.
And Darren, and there was a Darren, and all the guys did. It was a great party out in the middle of nowhere in farmland. They put up a bunch of tents. It was outstanding. I wish I could go to a party like that still. But we went there as Bill Clinton and his Secret Service agents with a blow up Monica attached to him. And every woman at that party had to come over. They thought it was hilarious. If they think your costume's hilarious, that's the way to go, fellas. That's the way to go.
Funny. Guys had to go funny. Women kind of go slutty. The best one I saw, I had a buddy one time in college, and he's got a green fatigue army thing on, army pants, boots, little quarter jacket, the waist high jacket, green hat, walk around, and then you walk up to him and go, "What are you?" And he pull out the front part of his little blouse thing, and out fell down a potato on a string.
Yeah.
And he goes, "I'm a dictator." Get it?
I was at a party one time in Boulder where a guy was just walking around as a nightstand, and we were like, "What are you?" And he goes, "I'm a one night stand."
One night
So
stand.
every girl thought that was great. So, and I'm sure the costume came to fruition that night. All right, man. Let's talk a little Avs. Now, I know somebody on here is talking about the score and they're playing Vegas, and that's great. So we're hearing that they're deep. I'm excited to know that the team thinks that they're deep, and a lot of people seem to agree with it. I'm excited to see this first version of the Avs. But, Scotty, I'm just worried. And you know what? Even John Michael Lyles kind of admitted it to us. I love JML because if you ask him a direct question, he ain't going to lie to you about it. Are they big enough? Is this going to be another year? Because I'm hearing the guy they traded Coyle for might make the squad, but that guy also was like 5'8", 155 or something like that. Just not a big dude. And I'm just worried that all this speed is fun now, but you and I will be back here in January and February getting everybody all mad at us saying they need bigger forwards for the
Well,
playoff run. That's my concern.
it's kind of like when Nuggets had that real fast team with Ty Lawson. It's great. It's great in the regular 82.
Sure.
You don't have time to prepare. You're playing a lot of season. And a lot of times a guy, coming in, especially in hockey, coming in that cold building, you might have been on the road for a week or whatever, and all of a sudden this team comes in and all they want to do is put on the gas. You catch a lot of people sleeping. The Nuggets won a lot of games that one year, 56, I think, right? Because they just speed by everybody. And then all of a sudden you get to the playoffs, the other team end up going real big, and you're like, oh gosh, we can't hardly stay with them. And that's been part of the Avs thing too. And it comes on. Speaking of big players, it comes on the day that Eric Johnson announced, "Well, I'm stepping away. I'm retired," and that was your one big guy on that defensive side when they won the cup just a few years ago.
Well, you had Manson, and he's still there, but Manson's older too. I mean, what we're going into 2025, 26. It'll be 26 when this season ended. When they won the cup, it was 22. It's 4 years. That's 4 more years of Manson's career. And I love Josh Manson. Don't get me wrong. Josh
No,
Manson's been everything as promised. That's been a hell of a trade, and I love him. But you still need some younger versions of him.
Yeah, that trade has paid off. That was a good trade. Let me ask about Eric. What I asked on our show today is he a Ring of Famer or whatever they do up in the rafters?
Okay, Nate and I talked about it too because this was the topic of the day. Eric Johnson, if they had a Ring of Fame, yes, he's worthy of that. He's not worthy of a jersey retirement. And I don't mean to be a dick. I love Eric Johnson. I do. He's a legend. He's going to be one of my favorite Avs of all time. He really is. But you know what I went and looked at because people were getting mad at me on Twitch? Do you know what? For his career, Eric Johnson's a -10. With the Avs, Eric Johnson was a +23. Do you know what Adam Foote's plus minus was in like 1,154 games?
Probably like a +50.
+99.
Woo.
+99. And I bring up Adam Foote because in my mind, they're the same type of defenseman. Eric's mean. He was nasty. He was not the guy you wanted covering him. He could chip in some offense, but he was there to set a tone. He was there to kind of run the locker room. He was a hell of a guy at all of that.
Yeah.
But I just don't think he's, again, as Nate calls it, the Hall of Very Good. And look, people get upset. I'm not saying Eric Johnson sucks. He's a fantastic Av that I'll remember forever. I really will. But for me, the jersey retirement is for, Champ Bailey doesn't have his jersey retired by the Broncos, okay? There's a lot of numbers out there. Tom Jackson never got his number retired by the Broncos. Carl Mecklenburg. DT won't have his number retired we're talking about people that were some of the best of their era don't get jersey retirements. I just think it's an ultimately special thing.
Terrell Davis.
Thank you. Steve Atwater.
Steve Atwater. Shannon Sharp. Yeah, it's good for the Broncos that they do the Ring of Fame, and I'm with you there. And that's why I say I think Eric Johnson's a Ring of Famer if you had that for sure. That being said, and I'm anti analytic guy because Adam Foote didn't have to go through the number of years of really poor Avs play like Eric Johnson did. And the year they had 42 points, that wasn't on Eric Johnson.
No, I
That
get
team
it.
that team couldn't do anything. So he went through a bunch of he went 2 or 3 years like that I'm not sure Foote had to really suffer through.
Remember, he went
I
to Columbus for a while too, and then came back.
Yeah, I'm at the eye test that. And listen, when they brought Eric back, that was a key to them winning the championship. I mean, he added what you talked about just a while ago, that little toughness that they might have been missing. So Knights won 2-1, by the way. I worry about their size. I think Eric Johnson. I think he's a Ring of Famer for sure. If we want to dig deep into the analytics, like he's plus minus, where I'm told all during the year the plus minus is overrated. That's how you not look at a guy. But watching his style of play, I'm with you. He's like Foote. D-Max, I say, well, he's never the best player on the team. I go, well, guess what? Adam Foote was never the best player on the team when he played. You retired Ray Bork. Ray Bork was never the best player on the team when he was here. So, you can't use that analogy. I don't know. I think he's close. I mean, it took him a few years to get Milan Hajduk up there. So I think he's close. He'll be a guy they talk about and scratch their head and think, do we do this or not?
Look, he may ultimately end up there in the rafters. And if he does, I'm not gonna like get all angry about it. I'm not gonna throw a fit. I'm not gonna do any of that. But if you're asking me what I'm doing, I'm not putting him up there. I just think it's the ultimate special honor. And I just think he was really, really good.
But does putting Ray Bork up there change that?
Well, but see, here's the thing. Every time somebody wants to bring that up, guess what? I'll tell you, take him down then. I don't give a damn. I don't think he should be up there. I don't mean to be a jerk. I don't think he should be up there. You wanted to honor one of the great players of the NHL during his time. But I'm just telling you, man, the guy, I got no problem if you were to take him down and go, you know what, we got caught up in the moment. Now, it'll never happen. It'll never happen. But, and by the way, Adam Foote began his career with the Nordiques in 91. Right. Remember, they were a pretty bad team before they got here. So it's not like Adam just showed up in the time of Forsberg and Sakic and wrote all that.
The year before they got here, they lost to the Rangers in the playoffs. So they were a playoff team when they came here.
Yeah, but they also were pretty bad in order to get the top pick so that they could trade Eric Lindros for Peter Forsberg. So I'm just saying, Foote endured some terrible stuff too. You want him in there? Fine. I just think, look, man, to me, this team right now is going to be McKinnon, Landeskog, and Makar. I think that'll be about the three. And maybe if Taves keeps going, then Taves sneaks in there too. But there won't be a goalie from this era.
But Taves ain't in there yet.
No, I'm with you. No, he's not. And look, if we're only going to talk about big moments in the playoffs, we're going to talk about Kadri at some point. Because Kadri had a Conn Smythe campaign going the year of the playoff run till, he played through a broken finger. The guy scored huge goals. I mean, but there's no way I'd be retiring Kadri's number. So,
but you know what you could do if you had it. The people that own the Avalanche ought to think about it. They ought to start a Ring of Fame.
I'm with you. I'd love to see that. Whether it's it doesn't even have to be the ring, but put a memorial area out there that says, here's some really good players that don't have their jerseys up there. Because they got a lot of them. Man, they got a lot of them. You know what I mean? I will agree. There's a hell of a lot more players that tell the story of the Avalanche than whatever the 4 or 5 that are up there right now.
Yeah.
Tanguay deserves to be recognized. Drury probably would have a little something to say. What about Uwe Krupp? Uwe Krupp was a big badass too that ended up giving you the clinching goal. They're a guy we could go on and on and on about. Guy Rob Blake deserves some kind of recognition. Hell, he played here longer than Bork. What, 3 or 4 times longer than Bork? So I'm with you. There needs to be more to recognize the history and the guys that have. I
Yeah.
mean, we've had what a history to be proud of, frankly, of guys
Yeah.
that have come through this city. But
And if you wanted to incorporate some of the Nordic guys, I'd have no problem with that either. Making it
I
franchise.
agree. I
I'm
agree.
yeah.
All right, let me ask you a question.
Wasn't Paul Stasny's dad big with the Nordiques for a long time?
Yeah, Peter Stasny and Paul.
Yeah.
Get them both up there. And I know Paul left in a weird way, and it feels like Paul's been too bitter to come back. But Paul Stasny, you can't tell the story of the Avs a little bit without Paul Stasny for sure. So, you know, you got some goalies. What about Varlamov? Varlamov wasn't terrible. Not, and I'd have to go look at it. And maybe it's just Wah. But Wah is not the only good goalie. I hope by the time we're having a Mackenzie Blackwood discussion, frankly.
Yeah.
But all right, I want to talk a little Nuggets before we maybe say goodnight. Joker's got jokes, man.
By the way, the Nuggets could probably be up and do something similar to the Avs too.
I would absolutely agree. Frankly, especially when you get to, because you can't retire the jerseys of the whole starting 5, and I wouldn't have done MPJ anyway. Nate and I were asking, when you get to this debate with the Nuggets, Joker goes up. I'm thinking Murray probably goes up. What about Gordon?
He may.
I love Aaron Gordon. I'd love to put him up there, but I'm not quite sure he's there yet.
If he continues to finish out his career like he's played the last 2 or 3 years, I mean, you got to really think about it, don't you?
Yes, because he's Mr. Nugget.
I mean, Carmelo Anthony just went into the Hall of Fame. He ain't up there.
You're right. Well, now you got a conundrum because you got 2 15s. You may have to put the slash banner up. I don't know. And listen, I know everybody's mad. I get it. As a Denver fan, I get it. You guys are mad how he got out of here. I got sick of covering it. It was no fun to cover the Nuggets during that saga, and that was my job at KOA. I was still a reporter. I had to go there and listen to these dumbass questions every day, and he had to answer them. And we kept getting these answers that we knew weren't the real truth, and So I understand why fans are upset that he wanted out of here. We all get offended when you want to. We're with the team forever. The players don't always feel that way. So I understand that part. But the bottom line is, if you really remember, and I do, how shitty Nuggets basketball was before Carmelo Anthony showed up here and made this thing relevant again, you got no choice. You have to recognize him somehow. You have to.
And once he got here, even started his rookie year, he never missed the playoffs, I believe.
All right, man. Current squad. I like the vibe of getting off a Joker, dude. I know you guys didn't get to talk to him too much in media day. I know Vic didn't get to, but he's joking. He was joking again today. Oh, I'm tired of AG. I'm not changing for AG and all this. Is the lightheartedness of Nikola Jokic, is that a sign we could take it that he knows he's finally got a team around him?
I think he's comfortable with that. I think he looks at his group and goes, you know what? I don't have to lead this team in scoring every night for us to win. I don't need to score 50 in Washington just to make it a 2-point game because everybody else decided not to show up. I think he realizes what he has around him. I mean, he killed it. I mean, ESPN and everybody else, none of them are going to cover it because they don't know anybody else on the squad other than Joker and Murray, I guess. But when they're asking about some of the new guys come back, and he says, "Yeah, I got Bruce Brown. We got to save his career again." I mean, that's funny stuff, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
he goes, "Yeah, and I got to make new friends again. Russ is gone. Sarge is gone."
He listened to us. I gotta go. I guess I got to introduce myself to a few of these guys. Well, it was hilarious. I will say this, and you and I may have talked about it before. He Westbrook won some games for you this year and was fantastic. I mean, overall, the performance on the floor was fantastic. Well, we never forgive him that Minnesota game, make a layup, or pull it out or whatever, but and then don't foul. So we all remember that game, and that kind of gives a sour taste. But I think his personality was just too heavy for that locker room. I think it affected Jamal Murray, to be honest with you. I think Jamal was tired. I think his body was worn out from the summer before, and then he comes in there, and now he's, here's a guy. He's supposed to be in his eighth, ninth year. He's supposed to be one of the leaders of the team, and I think Westbrook squashed a lot of other voices in that locker room last year. I thought Joker was quieter last year than he probably needed to be. So I think Joker being as loose as he was is a sign that they think they got their locker room back. I think they all like Adam. And we had, what's our guy? Adam Mares on today. He said, one thing I gleaned from David Adelman was this guy is about precision. I mean, he said every practice has started and ended on time. I mean, there's no floating around. There's no BS. He said he's precise with his answers. He's funny. He's quick. He's smart with them. I think they did good hiring David Adelman. Now we got to play games. We got to get through a long season. We got to get through the ups and downs and injuries and bruised feelings and everything else. But I think for this group that they put together, he's the right guy to have in there right now.
Yeah, man. My only question about this team is, will we find as we go through, like, are they going to need to maybe do a move for a backup veteran point guard? Or do you think they got enough to get by? Because Bruce Brown, I know, can play it, but do we want Bruce Brown focused on that or focused more on defense? You know what I mean?
I think we want. I mean, that was his role when they won the championship. I mean, he basically was your backup point that year. I think they're just going to ball. We'll see. Westbrook is still out there. Isn't it funny that camp's open and Westbrook's still out there?
Chris Paul, but you laid it all out. I think they're good. I think they're good without that.
See, I do too. But how about Houston? You get Van Vliet out for the year, and Westbrook's out there. They didn't run and go get him. They've had the Westbrook experience there. They didn't run out to go get him, have they?
Brother, how much do you think it resonated with people that 60-point game of Jokic is the 60-point triple-double against Minnesota, and it all gets blown up because Westbrook's last 2 minutes or whatever that was?
Last
fair, even worse. Doesn't that kind of leave the lasting image with people?
Yeah. So, fair or unfair, because he won games for you too.
He did, but
miss a layup to clinch to seal the game, and then you foul a guy on a 3-pointer.
I'm with you.
You're up 2.
I'm with you.
Make 2, you make the layup, you're up 4, game's over. You're up 2, you don't foul the 3-pointer, he misses it, you get the rebound, the game's over. Instead, you miss the layup and you commit the foul.
Well, I just think people. How about this? The Nuggets are not known for drama, and he showed up, and some drama kind of came with it.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I think so. Yeah, and I think it's just because he's got such a strong personality. I liked him. I talked to him 2 or 3 times. He's very nice to me. If he wanted to talk, he'd talk. If he didn't want to talk, he knew he wasn't going to talk. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I think Pickett will get a chance to play a little some minutes at point guard. Let's see if he's progressed. What's going to be interesting is 2 guys. It's going to be interesting. That's either going to make your team super, super deep, or I have a feeling it's going to be a disappointment. And that's Peyton Watson and Julian Strother. Those 2 guys, if they've improved over the summer, have got a chance to come in and make this team, 10 deep for the regular season. And they haven't had that in a bunch of years.
Well, I know this. They better have come in and improved, or I'm not sure they're playing. That's what I love about this, and I know you guys kind of hinted at it too. You better show up and get ready to earn playing time, because you don't get to go out there because you got no other options. Period.
Yep. Listen, people sleeping on Hardaway Jr. I'm excited. I think that was quietly a very good pickup.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I love it. I love it. All right. All right. Our guy, Peyton. I love Peyton. He's a good twitcher. But he's going all crazy about us talking about them needing to run the ball. But he wants to know, did KC win 3 Super Bowls because their run game was so elite? Peyton, you don't have Patrick Mahomes, bro. Nor do you even have Travis Kelce. You don't got that. That's not the team you have. So no.
They were winning their 3 Super Bowls. You had arguably the best quarterback in the league and arguably the best tight end in the league. You had just enough speed on the outside. And listen, Pacheco was pretty good there for one or two of those Super Bowl runs.
Yeah. Pacheco, they had good running backs they always got by with. So I'm just telling you, Peyton, you can't do everything you want. Bo is showing you he still is not there for every throw on the field. So you got to do it different ways. I'd love a tight end to show up. You know what? Bo's shown up this year. Cortland's shown up this year. Dobbins has shown up this year. Franklin's shown up this year. Mims showed up last game. When in the hell is Evan Ingram going to show up? When in the hell are we going to get this damn tight end? I mean, throwing passes to Troutman. We had Nick Kosmatter on today. He's like, well, Troutman's a guy they're comfortable run blocking. Then why did you sign Ingram? Everybody knows Ingram's not a run blocker. You didn't need to get him here to go figure out he's not a run blocker. We all knew he wasn't a run blocker.
I don't think he's much taller than you are.
No, he's thick. Although I'm thick in different places. he's thick where you'd like to be.
Yeah.
I'm thicker in the belly.
Yeah, you're more pumpkin thick.
I'm more a squash.
He's more like a fine fillet thick.
Sure. He's got a side of beef. So, what grade would we have to give their free agents a quarter into the season? It's a failing grade right now, isn't it? I hate to say it, but I mean, Dre Greenlaw has been the injury. Like, again, he's a cool signing if he's ever healthy. I hope he's healthy.
I think Ufanga's been good.
No, there's no. Did you see Ufanga blast the blocker into the runner the other night? That was sweet.
I think Ufanga has been fabulous. I'm fine. That's been an A. Ingram's been a D minus, and Greenlaw is an incomplete. Now let me ask you this: same thing. How would you rate the draft picks this year?
Well, let's see. RJ Harvey's giving you a game. Jahdae Barron's been in there, but not as much as I thought he might be. But listen, man, Riley Moss, I know Riley Moss is the guy that's going to get picked on because he's the guy getting picked on by the other offenses. But again, the dude is balling. Hey, man, we've seen what happens in life. The Broncos never had a corner opposite of Champ Bailey as good as Riley Moss is to Surtain. I'll tell you that. Not even close.
That Riley Moss has been thrown at more than any other cornerback in the league, and yet the success rate is like at 31%.
By the way, you know who the star of the class may be? Crawshaw.
Yeah, it is. The guy that everybody was trying to get him to cut during training camp.
I didn't want him cut. I just want you to have a backup plan. I'll tell you that. Ow.
Yeah. He's been phenomenal, though. What was that out? What was that pain?
I got a bad shoulder. I told you. I screwed up my shoulder. It still hurts. You all told me it's not going to go away, and you're not lying. I'm on 3 months of something here not right. So it's good times.
So what did the doctor say, Andy?
I don't go to the doctor. Hey, I live in America. Do you think I got great health insurance? I do not. I don't have 150 to go get an opinion to tell me, yeah, it's a strained muscle. You're going to need to this, that, the other. Well, now, the acupuncturist has done her best to try to get it right. But I haven't been able to see her in a couple months either.
If it's 3 months, chances are it's not a strained muscle.
You shut your mouth.
Yeah, that's screaming torn labrum or possibly a bone spur on the on something in there.
Okay.
A bone spur on the rotator cuff.
Yeah. Okay.
That might be chewing on that ligament right there. Next thing
no, something happened. I fell off. I told you it was fine, and I fell in the ocean in San Diego paddleboarding, and it's not been right since. And I feel like I strained it trying to paddle my fat ass in the ocean like a bleached whale, which is why I got on the fat guy shots to begin with. If you want to know where that started, went back and got to the men's clinic and was like, all right, I need to slim down.
You know, they have a thing called a gym.
Sure. I don't have a lot of time to go there, but I'll try. Yeah.
Well, what happened to your gazelle?
You want to know? I'll show you the damn gazelle. It's right yonder, right there, underneath the hoop. That's one of the handles of the gazelle, right there. What do you think of that? Huh? What do you think of that there, Hastings? So technically, it's right there. It could be unfolded. It hasn't.
Get your love, pin it to your shirt when we do this, and you can spend 50 minutes on the gazelle doing the podcast.
Is this going to turn into an OnlyFans thing so I can breathe in your ear? Is there some freak into that or something? Because look, if you're paying, I'll do it.
Watch Andy sweat.
Somebody wants to pay for that, I'll do it. I'll show you my feet too if you need to see it.
We need to get a sign of hands from all the people watching this right now. Have you ever been on, or do you have a gazelle?
Yeah, hey, real quick on the chat because they're coming from all over. Has anyone else owned a gazelle? Is it just me? Do you even know what a gazelle is? Is it so old you don't even know what a gazelle is? See, there, I knew Storch comes in. What's a gazelle? Well, it's like this. I can't even explain it. So
it's that. What was that guy that was built like a brick? You know what? Tony something, right?
Tony Little with his dumb ponytail, but he wore the cap with the ponytail at the back. It was tough taking him serious, man.
But he get on the gazelle.
Somebody look up the gazelle because I can't do it. If somebody can put the gazelle in the chat, then everybody can see it. I think, or I'll put it on the screen. Go to YouTube and just put Tony Little gazelle and you'll find it. It's like an elliptical, yes. But it's supposed to take pressure off the knees. It did work. I'll give you that. It did work. I just need to do it again.
And you can lean forward or you can lean backwards.
You know, I got good enough I could do that because I was balanced. So it was one of those late night purchases where I was like, that gazelle, that's the key. I hate running. I don't know what to tell you.
But you were doing that for a while every day.
Yeah. Because I wanted to play lacrosse. Right. Now I don't want to tear an Achilles. So even when I get lighter, because I'm down 20, but I still got 30 to go. I ain't going to play no lacrosse. I remember Dr. David Schneider, who was the team doc for the Lakers and the Kings and the Dodgers. And I got to be I got to know him real well. He used to do Bronco injury reports for us at the other place. He's a panoramic orthopedic. And he told me one time after I got back from Vail and was complaining to him how sore I was, he goes, I got a whole practice built on guys like you trying to prove you're still young. So don't go tearing an Achilles. So I was like, noted.
Achilles.
Huh?
That gazelle ain't going to tear that Achilles. It might work out that shoulder a little bit for you.
Might.
Or to kill it.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be cool. Yeah, whatever. Nobody cares. Work harder.
Work harder. Work harder.
Hey.
Work harder.
Yeah, Shane at Mile High goes, too bad it's not Giselle. Amen. Amen. Yeah. Hey, if I had a Giselle, I'd do all kinds of running to be in shape. I'll tell you that.
You'd be doing some Brazilian jiu-jitsu, BJJ.
Well, apparently that went down because she's pregnant already. So
she already had the kid.
What?
I think she already had that kid.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. My gossip page is, I guess, whenever I get anything, it's just Travis and Taylor. So what are you going to do? All right. We'll come back next week, 9:00. We'll be talking about it again. We'll see how this goes. So, by the way, they want to know what's our predictions for Sunday. We might as well do that. What you got?
I'm going to call this the big win of the year. I think Denver wins this thing 24-17.
I'll go 24-20 Broncos.
Broncos.
Yeah. Look, I'm the one that said
they
he gives us a surprise win every year. You can't take my take and not have me use the take. I told you every year we get one win we don't expect. And I just saw it already. NFL Network already picked this game. And Adam Rank, who does love him some Broncos, is the only guy on the panel of like 16 people that picked the Broncos. Everybody else is going Eagles. So to me, this is the surprise game where, and I think especially if they were to get Malcolm Roach back, I think this team can frustrate their offense. Now, I won't lie. I'm a little worried about Vic and his plan for Bo. I don't think he's giving Bo any easy passes, but that's where you got to dedicate to the run and run him out of whatever he's doing, period.
Didn't Vic, wasn't that a stat we saw with Vic when he was here, that Vic Fangio defenses, when they played a quarterback for the first time, he was like 15-1 or some stupid.
Yeah, and he's the one that wrote the blueprint on how to deal with Mahomes. Rush 3 or 4 and drop 7 or 8. And I think he's going to do the same to Bo. Now, again, when we talk to Chad Brown, Chad does think he's also going to bring some exotic blitzes that are going to confuse Bo. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe it's my Bronco homer. Maybe it's because I'm psyched. I'm still loving the team, even though it's not. Look, I thought they'd be 2-2 after 4 games. They're 2-2. They lost. I thought they'd lose to the Bengals and beat the Colts. It was switched. So here we are. We're still on pace for good things, right? I never had them going to the Super Bowl. I think they're going to win 10 wins. They're going to be better than the 10 wins from a year ago, and I'm hoping they get a playoff win. So I'm still got plenty to. I think something's great, but I just feel like Sunday is the game where they surprise us with the win we don't expect.
Yeah, I'm feeling that also, and I'm feeling that if you can hold them at 20 or under, you can win this game.
Now, y'all can tweet and dog cuss me if it's crappy at half, but if Sean's got me one thing believing for some reason, and I can't explain it, October Sean's a different deal, man. Just is. So anyway, go Broncos. All right, everybody. Had a big crowd tonight. We appreciate all of you. Subscribe to the pages. Join us every Wednesday at 9:00. We got obviously more sports to keep talking about. So no matter what goes good or bad with the Broncos, we got Avs and Nuggets to get into too. We love y'all. And you and I, we need to do a Halloween show again.
And I'll be doing, we can do one this year. I'll be doing the Nuggets game in San Diego on Saturday.
Love it. I heard you're leaving Friday.
Friday night.
All right.
I got a 6 flight out of San Diego to get back in time for 11 o'clock tip.
Great.
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah.
Oh, are you doing it at Pechanga Arena, by the way?
Yep.
That new place. That's really nice.
So. Well, isn't the old arena that they just put stuff around it?
I can't remember, but I know that the indoor team, the San Diego Seals of the Mammoth League, play there, and everybody loves what they've done to the place. So,
yeah, I thought it was the old San Diego Sports Arena or something like that. And then they put stuff and fixed it all up and added stuff all around it. But I played in the original San Diego Sports Arena.
That's cool. Be like old times for you.
Yep.
Go ahead and shave your nut hair off your chin by the time you get there. Just do that for me.
At the sports arena in San Diego, lose his shoe. Somebody took a jump shot. He picked up his shoe and threw it at the ball.
Did he hit the ball?
He didn't. I don't think he hit it, but he checked it up to try to hit it.
What would have happened if he'd have hit it?
Well, I think he got a technical anyway. Maybe I don't remember if he hit it. I didn't think he did, but they stopped and the officials had to talk to each other because that's illegal to do. And I think they got a technical. I don't think they counted the basket. I think we got a technical in possession.
That's funny. That is really funny.
Yeah,
by the way, you know what? I'm sorry. We told everybody good night, but I got to add one more thing. You know what Gary Barnett told us? Remember that play that won the Oklahoma game? The guy standing by the sideline?
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that's an illegal play? You're not allowed to do that. They outlawed it. Like Gary told us the whole story because in the 80s and 90s, they were doing that stuff all the time. And it is an illegal play, and the officials knew it. And they should not have allowed that play to stand because you can't act like you're subbing somebody when you're not because of the new subbing rules. And so the officials got suspended because of allowing it. And I said they need to just take the win away. And like the old ball coach, Gary's like, no, you gotta take the win away. I was like, okay, all right. Shenanigans. You like the shenanigans.
I like
But it was
those.
not a legal play, and Auburn should have had the win. It should not have been allowed to stand. So there you go. A little piece of information for you. Information. You're just going to
There you
stare
go.
at me,
That's
or
why
are
you
you
listen.
frozen?
Yeah, we could do a Halloween. What day is Halloween in?
Friday. We could do a Wednesday night. We could get some good ghost stories and the whole deal.
Yeah, I can't figure out when it is because I think I'm on the road one of those days.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's been proof, too. We got to figure out your internet, so we're going to do that. Anyway, good night, Scotty.
Figure out your internet, ball hair.
The confirmation is your internet sucks, and so does that beer. Good night, all. We love you.